Hello, and welcome to EDU 508, Creating a Trauma-Informed School. I am Dr. Sean M. Slander, and these are my opening remarks for week one. A little bit about me. I got my doctorate in educational leadership from St. Mary's University. I also got my master's in teaching and learning from St. Mary's. And for undergrad, I did secondary education and history double major from Drake University in Des Moines, Iowa. I am currently working as a principal in a prison setting. In October, I am slated to go back to being a teacher in that setting unless I apply for the real job, which I haven't made the decision on yet. So we'll see how this year continues going. I have two small children, a 4-year-old boy and a 2-year-old girl. My 4-year-old is starting preschool here in 11 days, September 12th. And my wife and I have been together for about 10 years. A bit about this course. This will be our textbook right here, Building Trauma Sensitive Schools. However, you do not need to purchase it. In the Blackboard page under course reading list, if you open that up, it will have all of your readings right there. You can access them online. So you do not need to purchase the book unless you really want to. If you don't already own a APA manual, I do recommend getting one of those. Let's see here, a couple of other big notes before we really dive into things. I do know that the syllabus has separate due dates in 2 separate places. So I am working with the program chair and the other instructors who are teaching this to figure out which due dates we should be using. So here it lists weeks 2, 4, 5, and 7. But then in the calendar, it lists weeks 2, 4, 6, and 8, which is the normal. So for now, until I find out for sure, I have put the due dates as 2, 4, 5, and 7, since those are earlier. I am hoping that 5 and 7 will change to 6 and 8. When they do, or if they don't, I will let you know as soon as I know either way. I just wanted to let you guys know that I am aware of the inconsistency there. I think it's the big one there. Otherwise, this class is all about building trauma-sensitive schools and how we as practitioners, principals, teachers, paraprofessionals, people in the community can help that happen. So this course is really about bridging that gap between just learning about this stuff and putting it in practice. And with that, I want you to make sure that when you're writing, that it's not just a very broad but shallow look, but rather that you are really going in deep on what you could do in your school, or if the assignment asks otherwise, what you could do in some other setting. But again, a deep dive, not just broad and shallow. About me, I will not be engaging in the discussion boards. That is a place for you guys. I may jump in every great once in a while, but I don't do it very often. Rather, what I do is every week I will send out a rubric with your grades, as well as any comments that I have specifically for you. I will do the same thing for the assignments, and I will share that out through Google Drive. I do that every week. And then I will also talk about the major themes from the last week's discussion boards in the upcoming videos. And because of that, I cannot really record these until at least Friday or Saturday. But I hope to have them up by Sunday of every week. I am available via my CSB email. I am not available between the hours of roughly 7 and 3:30, as I do not have access to this email while I'm at work in prison because I don't have my phone. If you need more help than just an email, reach out to me via email to schedule a Zoom session, and we can schedule those for whatever works for you. I always respond to emails within 24 hours. If something's coming up where I know that I may not be able to do that, I will let you know the week ahead of time. Or I will send out an announcement via Blackboard if something comes up that I need to take care of. the calendar. Make sure that you get your initial post in on Thursday. That not only helps your peers be able to respond by Saturday, but it also helps me as I'm planning for these videos and discussing the major themes. You can also view our calendar in Blackboard. It should have everything on there, but sometimes these don't load up correctly. So, of course, it's not. So if we go to the first day, there you go. Week 2 instructor opening remarks are due on the 14th. 16th, we should have discussion board and the week 2 assignment. So you can also do the due date view to just see all of the due dates. In these videos, I will try to kind of give you a primer on roughly the page numbers or how long the videos are. The expectation for me as a professor is that these videos are between 12 and 20 minutes long. If I know that the week is going to be heavier, I'm going to try to err on the side of that 12 minutes rather than that 20. But in general, I try not to take the full time because I know that your time is very important to you. As I mentioned earlier, you will have 4 assignments, 4 big writing assignments this semester. I believe 1, maybe 2 of them can also be done as videos. I think it's these last 2, if I remember correctly. Currently, they are scheduled for week 2, week 4, week 5, and week 7. I do anticipate these 2 changing to week 6 and week 8, but I'm just waiting to hear back on that. Your first assignment will be thinking about the students in your classroom. You can start thinking about this right away because it's due on September 14th, or sorry, not September 14th, September 16th. And the purpose of this assignment is to identify and assess the social emotional needs of the students in your classroom. I know it is very, very, very early in the school year. So if you want to base this on last year's students, or if you want to try to base it on this year's students off of what you know from them so far, that is okay as well. You're going to be looking at overall what needs they're presenting. And then if the ACEs questionnaire were to be administered, what do you think you would see? This is not me saying that you should do the ACEs questionnaire, as that would be a bigger question for your district, but just from what you know about your students, what do you think their range of scores would be? And then discussing the impact that the students' trauma experiences will have on their learning. Make sure that you use the APA cover page that I have put in Blackboard. Of course, it's hiding. It's the recording while I find that again, as it is now hiding from me. 1 second, please. Okay, sorry about that. I know that that would not show up for you, but in every course shell, these things get moved around and we don't really have much control over the course shells. But the template I was discussing can be found in week 2, the instructor opening remarks. Even though there's not a video in it yet, I have made it visible to you, as you will find that there is a template in there that you can use. I am not logged into the correct email, so that's not going to work for me. Interesting. There's a template there. It has the cover page with everything pre-filled out. That is standard for everybody. And then the second page includes a running header. Grading. Like I said, I'll be sending out a rubric via Google Drive every week for all of you on weeks with assignments. It will be 1 attachment, so that one will come out a little bit later, but it'll have both rubrics attached. Please try to use kind of a standard font, size 12, just makes it easier for everybody to read. As far as APA formatting, you can expect that I'm not going to take points off for APA. I will be guiding and making corrections. However, if I've already made the corrections or made the suggestions once and you continue to do the same thing, that is when I will take points off. So make sure once I get feedback that you follow that feedback. For this first week, your first discussion board, I just want you to share a soundtrack, a playlist title, or just song lyrics that you think relate to building trauma-informed schools. And you can post a link to the song or playlist or soundtrack if you wish. And then write 1 to 2 paragraphs about that audio and why you think that it applies. And then sign it as follows: your name, grade level and content teaching assignment, and your school district or geographic location. That'll just help me get to know you all a little bit better as we're getting started. And secondly, please respond to the following. The most traumatic experiences I have encountered in a school setting are